Hello, I'm back with another video. My name is Pauline. If you are new to my channel, please make sure to subscribe so you do not miss any videos, and then go back and watch the other ones, okay? So today we are talking about curl pattern in your locks. So when I say curl patterns, we're talking about long curl patterns and short curl pattern, and I'm just going to do a comparison what you can expect in your lock journey if you have a longer curl pattern or a shorter curl pattern. So let's first talk about long curl pattern, and I will try to differentiate whether I'm talking about new locks or mature locks, okay? And if I don't, please feel free to ask questions and I'll be happy to join you in the comments and answer any questions that you may have. So when it comes to locking your hair, your curl pattern determines how the overall look of your locks, what it's going to look like. And so I know people are always like, oh, I want my hair to look like this person. That is my hair crush. Ooh, here's my hair crush. So when I get locks, it's gonna look like that, right? It all depends. There's so many factors that we have to consider when it comes to your own hair. So for the sake of time, we are only going to talk about the your curl pattern, whether long or short. So with your curl pattern, when you have a longer curl pattern, whether in a beginning stage, middle stage, or mature stage, you can expect to have frizzy locks. So I know I get a lot of people who say, oh my God, my locks are so frizzy. Is it gonna change? What can I do? Different things like that. When you have a loose, when I'm referring to long curl pattern, it's just a looser curl. So people with a looser curl pattern will most likely have frizzy locks in the beginning, in the middle, and even when they are mature. What you can do if you do not like the frizziness, you can get a grooming. But if you decide to get a grooming, please wait at least 5 years before you can groom your locks, because you don't want to groom your locks while it's still locking. You want to give it an opportunity to get into that lock, to mat into that lock, okay? So if you have a short curl pattern, your curls are tighter. So it's not loose, it's tighter. So you won't have as much, you won't really have frizzy locks. Now, if you have a short curl pattern and you color your locks, you bleach your locks, you have heat damage, you may experience some frizziness, but for the most part, you will not have frizzy locks if you have a short, tight curl pattern. Now, you do have some people who are in between, so you can fall in either or. And please, guys, when I'm giving examples or sharing, it is general information, okay? I'm talking about someone with loose curl pattern, general, your typical person, right? So you can have a loose curl pattern and may not experience that, and it could be different factors that's causing you not to experience that. But we're not going to sit here and talk about all the different hypotheticals and different things like that, okay? So for short curl pattern, tight curl pattern, you're most likely not going to have frizzy locks. Your locks are typically more, it's more compact, looks more uniform. It's just like, people are like, I don't see any strand hanging out, but that's just their hair. So that's one of the things you can expect from long, loose curl pattern or short, tight curl pattern when it comes to the frizzies, okay? So another characteristic you might notice about long or short curl pattern, long curl pattern, looser curl pattern, because you have a lot of frizzies, and if your ends are open, and especially this is for the beginning stage of your locks, your hair may tangle a lot. It will, you may experience tangling at your ends, so at the ends of your locks, so when you go to run your fingers through, you're getting all stuck. So you may experience that, especially if you have loose ends or if you started off with 2-strand twists, your hair will tangle a lot because it's a looser curl pattern. The strands just want to, kind of be out and be free. And so it's not necessarily marrying into the lock. So because of that, you are going to experience some tangling. It does get better as your locks mature. And when you're completely mature, you do not really have to worry about tangled locks. When your locks are, for my short curl pattern folks out there, Because the locks are, your short curls are short and tight, there's not a lot of loose hair out that's grabbing onto other strands of locks, causing it to tangle. So you're okay unless you have, in the beginning stage, you have a lot of loose ends out. You may have some natural tangles because the hair is just trying to lock, but for the most part, you will not experience any tangling with a short curl pattern. Now, will you experience in some sections of your hair? You may, because keep in mind, you might have both textures in your hair. You might have a looser texture in the front and a tighter texture in the back. So keep in mind, if you have different textures throughout, which most of us do, you may experience both scenarios. Okay. The other thing you may notice when it comes to your locks, when you have long curl pattern, because the hair is it's just hard to kind of blend into the lock. When your new growth comes in, that hair wants to mat together. It wants to, and I'm not talking about mat in the lock. It's wanting to grab onto cousin, to sister, to brother. It's wanting to grab onto everything. So your new growth wants to mat a lot. So when you're a consultant or yourself, when you go to get your hair tightened, you see that your consultant might be putting in a little bit more work trying to separate those locks and try to get your parts to be clean, because you have a lot of stray hairs that's just wanting to be free. When you have short, tighter curl pattern, the hair just kind of marries into itself. Some consultants, if you're a consultant out there, you will understand when I say, oh, it just opens up. Like everything is staying together. You barely have to part. It just opens up. So someone with a tighter curl pattern, a benefit that you may have, you could probably go a little bit longer in between retinings, because everything just kind of stays together. So it's not matting as much. But when you have a longer, looser curl pattern, things you might find yourself wanting to be like, oh God, I need a retightening, because it starts to just look bushy. Hair is all outside of the parts. It's playing outside the locks. So those are some of the things to consider. And it's not necessarily you have a lot of new growth. If you're thinking, oh my God, I need to get a retightening, it's just not as clean, because the hair is just trying to get out of the lock and then marrying with other locks and causing tangle and matting at the root. Another thing to consider when it comes to your locks, long curl pattern locks or a looser curl pattern tend to take a little bit longer to lock. So you gotta get a little bit more patience, okay? Because it's going to take a little bit longer to lock. Short curl pattern, tight curl pattern typically locks quicker. I will literally have some clients in like 3 to 6 months, they're locking. Whereas a longer curl pattern, it might take longer. Now, if you say, oh, I have a short, tight curl pattern, but it took a long time for me to lock as well, then this is where hair porosity comes in. So if you have a low hair porosity, meaning your cuticles are flat, it's not raised, yeah, that might take a little bit longer. That might slow down your locking process. But for the most part, you will lock quicker than someone with a looser curl pattern. Someone with a looser curl pattern, yes, it does take a little bit longer to lock. But if you have high porosity hair, meaning that your cuticles are raised, then the hair, although it's loose, is more prone to grab onto each other and kind of help speed up the locking process a little bit. So, but if you have a long curl pattern, low hair porosity, be patient. I promise you it will lock. It's just going to take a little bit longer because your cuticles are smooth, your curls are loose, so it's not a lot of kink to help it mat together. So be patient, because looser curl pattern tends to take longer to lock than someone with a shorter curl pattern. Okay. Another aspect of the short and long curl pattern to consider is slippage. Someone with a looser curl pattern, a long curl pattern, you're more prone to slippage in your locks. And it's because of the reason I shared earlier. The lock, when you have a looser curl, it takes a minute for it to draw up and come together and lock, right? When you have a tighter curl pattern, it's so close to each other. It's like it comes together and it locks quicker, so you're not having so much issues with slippage. Now, with a short curl pattern, can you have slippage? Yes, especially when what I mentioned before, depending on your hair porosity. If you have a smooth cuticle, you can still experience some slippage, especially if you're not being cautious and following the guidelines that your loctician gave you. With a long curl pattern, you're more prone to slippage, okay? Because it's just, it takes the hair some time to mat up and to come together and lock. If you have high porosity hair, meaning your cuticles are raised, you might have a little bit of wiggle room. You might not have as much slippage as someone with a low porosity, loose curl pattern, okay? So someone with low porosity, loose curl pattern, oh Lord, I just be looking at y'all like, listen, I want everybody to lock. But when I get someone with a loose curl pattern, low porosity, I'm like, oh Lord, this is gonna be some work. And then I gotta, you know, amp up my patience and everything, because you're going to be asking a lot of questions. You're going to be frustrated with your journey, and I have to kind of help you to look ahead and to not focus on so much on now. But when I tell y'all, y'all locks be so gorgeous, like it be beautiful, beautiful. So just be patient. It will lock. It's just gonna take some time, okay? So when you have loose curl pattern and you're more prone to slippage, protective styles, you know, just make sure you're bundling when you're shampooing your hair. If you're going swimming, if you work out, braid it down to take care of it, okay? So you're not paying so much and getting slippage and all that stuff fixed, okay? Okay, another thing to consider when it comes to your curl pattern, if you have, it's pretty much bunching, okay? If you want to learn more about bunching, listen, I have videos on bunching, hair porosity, okay? So go and look at previous videos and you'll probably get more of an understanding of what I'm talking about. So bunching, when you have a longer curl pattern, looser curl pattern, because the hair isn't coiling around itself tightly, it's looser, it just is so much easier for it to bunch together. It's like the hair is saying, I don't know what to do with myself right now. I don't know what to do, so I'm just going to bunch up. Because it wants to lock, but because of how it is, it bunches up because it doesn't have that that coil, that tight coil isn't allowing it to mat smoothly. Because all hair, if you're trying to lock, it's going to mat to lock. So bunching isn't necessarily, I don't want to say it's a bad thing. It's just different hair types is going to mat differently. So when you have a looser curl pattern, it just, instead of matting uniformly because it's tightly coiled, instead of being a uniform matting, the looser hair just says, what the heck with it? I'm just going to mat. And it just draws up and mat together. And sometimes you end up with that bulgy ends or thicker ends or anything like that. I mean, think about butterfly locks. So instead of it matting together nicely, each strand of hair is just trying to lock and do its own thing. So it's pulling and the lock is like, I wish I could like show you guys, but it's pulling and the lock is just looking like, okay, well, what are you trying to do? You trying to lock? What is it? You know, so, but either or, they'll, you know, it's going to lock. It's just going to look different, especially in the beginning. And then when it's completely locked, you're going to be like, oh, okay. I'm cool. With a tighter curl pattern, it does mat, but because the curls are tighter and closer together, it just gives it more of a cylinder, smooth, matting look instead of bunching, okay? Now, if you have a tighter curl pattern and you say, well, I have bunching, like myself, I mean, and it's because I color. When you color, it loosens your curl pattern. So chemicals, it loosens your curl pattern. So therefore, you're going to experience what someone with a looser curl pattern will experience with bunching, okay? So if you're thinking, oh, I'm this, but I'm experiencing that, it's something that you're doing to causing the hair to be like that. and causing it to bunch. Another thing about the short curl pattern, although it's not bunching as much, baby, someone with a short curl pattern, that shrinkage, yes. So someone with a shorter curl pattern will experience more shrinkage than someone with a looser curl pattern. A looser curl pattern, it will shrink, but it's not as much as someone with a short curl pattern. A short curl pattern, you be looking like, I know when you first lock, because you know in that install stage, it's all nice and stretchy, right? And the moment humidity, water, you shampoo it or something like that, it just shrivels up. You're going to experience more shrinkage with a short curl pattern. All right, well, that is it when it comes to curl pattern, whether you have a loose, long curl pattern or a short, tight curl pattern. Those are the things that you can expect with your locks, whether in the beginning or in a mature stage. So if you have any questions, please put them in the comments below. I am happy to answer any questions that you may have. And I am looking forward to joining you guys in the comments because I love getting comments from y'all. I really do. Y'all know I respond to every comment. Right now I'm small, so I know I'm responding to every comment. So I will do what I can while I can. And while I'm at it, I want to say big ups and thank you so much for getting me to 3,000 subscribers. So I am so thankful and grateful for you guys for sharing my channel, commenting, liking, whatever it is that you're doing to support. And I saw YouTube added like a super thanks. So if you guys want to just say thank you so much for your content, thank you for helping me in my hair journey, lock journey, and want to do a super thanks to Untied Beauty Me, I would appreciate it, whatever it is. Or if you just want to put in a comment, thank you, girl. Whatever it is, I am grateful for whatever support that I get. So if you want to learn more about your locks, if you are maintaining your own locks, if you are a loctician or a trainee and you need more assistance, need more help, need any type of coaching, I am happy to help. I will link my coaching information below. So if you want to reach out to me to get additional coaching, mentorship, or whatever it is, I am happy to help. And you can find all that information in the description. Yes, so thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.